Welcome to the channel. So here's another camera, camera box, camera case. Beautifully made as usual. You can see the beautiful stitches. I mean, this one is rather old, it's worn out, has the handle. I think this is this leather strap here is kind of okay, only because leather is only this part. It's very thick leather, and it's attached via kind of sort of different way here, so it's not fully loading on things. And the main part of this is this kind of fabric. So here's the lock, very pretty. This is not chrome. Displayed with something else, brass underneath. Lock. Let's look around. Back, nothing special. Quite worn out, but again, really nice thick leather. Even these are made from multiple layers, reinforced. Yeah. This one, not sure about the date. Somewhere, my guess, 1920s. Probably has been used a lot longer time after that. Rather difficult to tell. So let's open it up. Here's some text. I didn't notice this before. What does it say? Something. Road Street, Halifax. Warranted leather. Yeah, that's true. That's for sure is true. This thing is over 100 years old, I would say. At least 100. Can be over. Warranted leather. That's definitely true. The leather is still strong. This one really says like, actually never knows, it's something Glad Hill. If any one of you can tell what it says, there it says Street something, 52 Road Street, Halifax. Oh, actually, maybe that's where this is originally from. I don't know what was there. So here's some sort of attachment. The typical of the time, I think this is called plush fabric, beautiful, nothing artificial, soft. There, this is green one. Okay, here's the film holders. I'm not going to take these out. There's a few different types, so some of this is probably aftermarket, maybe this came. The thing is that this one, I know, has original films, most likely exposed, still inside. So they are waiting for a time when I will have the place, or I know someone with the skill to develop really, really old film. I have managed to develop film from 1950s, 1940s, kind of successfully, but this is, I think, way beyond my skills. Yeah, here's the camera. Let's lift it up. Up. So let's see. Oh, this one's missing. There it is. Nothing else in the bottom, more green. Hold on, this belongs here. I will put it in place. Actually, here you can see the shutter curtain. It's fabric, so it's one with the slit is somewhere there, which is like opening, which moves like this, and exports the film. They're basically the same way as modern SLRs even still today work. Here's behind this one is the glass, which you can view the image. It says ICA. Yeah, so that's a manufacturer. This camera is called camera name was called Minimum Palmos. It was originally made by a company that just called it, I think it was like Palmos and Minimum Palmos, and later it was bought by Carl Zeiss got its hand, and it was bought by a company before that called ICA. So it's one of those brands that have been through many changes. If you Google the name Minimum Palmos, you will find a lot more detailed numbers, dates and so on online. This one has clearly been modified somewhat. There's been something here missing. This isn't actually leather. It's beautiful feeling. It's some sort of plastic all the time, but it's very thick, very robust. At least it doesn't feel like leather at all. Here's the viewfinder with which you can see through, like this. And it even folds back by itself. Here's the adjustment of the shutter. You can see through the plexi, you can see the numbers. There's something missing here. These kind of small details are often missing. That's quite common. This is shutter tension, basically winding a spring. There's number there. You can just click it and the number changes there. This one has something to do with the shutter functionality, either being or with the timing, all time open or something like that, different configurations. Here's the button to release the shutter, take the picture. Okay, I think now it's I'll open this one. Okay, back with the opening. So, this is the bellows, keeping everything light tight between the film and the lens. These are called struts. This was a very common type in professional use back in the days, the so-called strut type camera. I'm talking about like the oldest ones I have of this type are from 1890s until 1950s. They are still strut type cameras because basically whatever film you have here, shutter, whatever the adjustments, but the camera is very compact compared to the film size, and you just quickly pull the front out and it's ready to use. And it holds here, and it's quite rigidly held here, depending on how well this is made. Here's the lens, a lens cap there. It's got a lens by Zeiss, made in Jena. And this is now way before World War II, so it's in the unified Germany, not the Jena lenses that were made in Eastern Germany later. This is something I'm not ever sure if this was originally from factory, but I've seen these many cases in modifications. I mean, you could upgrade cameras at the time quite nicely. So this is the distance. This is in yards, so I guess this is English. And you could adjust you see the lens is moving, and you can adjust the focusing distance. So if you look through the glass in the back here under this cover, you could see the image getting in and out of focus like in a modern digital camera. But if you didn't have time for that, you need to guess, or you had some other way to measure the distance to the target, you could set it quickly here and just look through this one to frame the picture. Yeah, I think most pronounced is that everything here is again engraved and filled with paint, which is what I love. It's beautiful. Leather is actually surprisingly good condition. Let me see here. Yeah, this one is here. So, is there anything else to see? Let me get a closer look. There it says ICA, actually company. Oh, I'm having trouble with this. Oh, it says Actinum, ICA Aktgeschäft, or whatever, and Palmos Dresden. So, this was originally done by really a company. I think it was by name Palmos, or they had cameras with Palmos names in them. Then it was bought by ICA. Then ICA later merged to be Zeiss, if I remember correctly, the company that still exists today. The camera segment doesn't exist. That went bankrupt, I think it was in 1970s. But they still do make lenses to just about everything in the world. Yeah, really, this is, I would say, how it feels in hand. It's quite heavy, but it's extremely sturdy. It feels like something that's like bomb-proof. It's really the painted surfaces when you look at these old devices. They are absolutely beautifully made. I mean, they're very hard surfaces. You can't scratch them easily at all. So this is a really beautifully made camera. About this individual, this is a non-functional one. I have been attempting to get this working properly. Last time I working on it was several years ago, but I still remember the problems that I have, and hopefully at some point I will have access to the tooling and the stuff needed to fix this permanently. I think it was when I was looking at its insides, mechanism, everything years ago. I remember this one had the problem that I think some of the stuff had been modded, and those modifications, some of those modifications had failed a bit. But yeah, it can be turned to a completely functional camera. I just need to have some more time and place to do some work on it. But here it is. ICA Minimum, or you can find it also online with Zeiss Minimum Palmos name. Press camera from probably end of the 1910s, before 1920 or after 1920. But the part when ICA owned Palmos was a very short one before ICA merged into Carl Zeiss, or Zeiss Icon, as was the name of their camera company at the time. So you can date this, but yeah, around 100 years old, this one. Very, very beautiful, very well made object. And technologically, this was quite advanced, despite, there are other cameras in the time that had shutters and mechanisms and less buttons and much less complicated to use. This is a very, you can adjust almost everything here, and it's a much more simplified. Maybe that's why it's more robust and has survived so well. Very popular professional camera at the time.